So we're here in the Strom-Thurmond room, which was named for the senator who had done the longest filibuster speech in the Senate history until this Congress, when our friend Spartacus, the senator from New Jersey, Senator Cory Booker, broke the record. But speaking of that, like, you know, again, when you see the Democrats doing all of these different antics, whether it be that or Schumer out there, talking about Trump's poll numbers. I saw this thing yesterday. Apparently, he was bashing Trump's poll numbers, and then somebody asked him, "Well, your poll numbers are worse than ever." And so then he's like, "Oh yeah, the polls come and go," right? Like the Democrats really seem to be a mess. I mean, they're a party without a leader. They're a party without a vision. I mean, your thoughts on the opposition here?
Well, they are a hot mess, and they're really floundering right now and struggling to find an identity. You know, I think that the base of their party demands complete fealty to their positions, and their positions are so far left and out of the the American mainstream, and they really have become a party of sort of very ideologically woke positions, and I think the Republicans Party is now, we kind of have the mantle of common sense. I mean, people are looking at us and saying, okay, you at least, we don't think that biological boys ought to play against girls in girls sports and things like that, and there are just issues like that where the Democrats, I think, have staked out a position that makes them not a viable alternative for most Americans. And so we just need to make sure that we deliver on the things that we committed to and promised to the American people. And if we do that, I think we can have a sustainable majority for a long time, because I just think the Democrats are floundering.
Yeah, and I want to get into the vision that you guys have, that you're working on executing the Trump agenda, but one more question on the Democrats. Particularly, we're seeing several of them run for the hills. Number 2 on their side, Durbin, he's not running for re-election. Yeah. Gary Peters, the two-time chair of their campaign committee, not running for re-election. Jeanne Shaheen, I mean, these are big-name Democrat senators. They're not standing up for re-election. I think that's a sign that they're a little worried about their prospects.
Yeah, I think, and you add Michael Bennet in Colorado, Tina Smith in Minnesota, but they've given us some opportunities. And again, that's why failure is not an option. We have to get done what we said we would do and deliver on the agenda and work with President Trump and our counterparts in the House. And if we do that, I just think that we're going to be competitive in states where maybe historically we haven't been, because I think there are Democrats in some of those states, even in blue states, who are getting out now out of frustration. And honestly, I can't blame them. The majorities that they've had for the past few years, especially the last couple of years, they didn't do anything in the Senate. And I think there's a high level of frustration on their side. They don't feel led. And the leaders that are emerging it's the Bernie wing of the party. And I think that presents all kinds of problems for them electorally down the road, because it's going to be very hard for them to appeal to the middle of the electorate, to independent voters, and even moderate Democrats, because this is a party that's been taken over by the far left progressive wing, and so that's why I think you're seeing a lot of these folks get out.
And Senator, the last thing I'd ask you about here is that over on the House side, we just saw a Democrat from Michigan, I think, introduced articles of impeachment against Trump. Here they go again with the Trump Derangement Syndrome. I think that what that underscores, though, is that as we go into the next year here, as you guys seek to accomplish the agenda, the other side is waiting out there as we go into the midterm elections to try to come after President Trump again, just like they did in his first term. Can you talk to us a little bit about the Trump Derangement Syndrome that we see from the radical left, from the Democrats, and why it's so important that we get all of these things done?
Right, and I think that that is the only thing they have going for them, and it really is nothing more, nothing less, nothing else than Trump Derangement Syndrome that's animating a lot of that behavior. And we see it every day in the Senate. The passion speeches and filibustering through the night and all that sort of thing, because they're filled with anger. They can't believe they're still, I think, overcoming the disappointment with how they got clobbered in the 2024 election. But it's really important for us, it's vital for us as Republicans, as I said before, to demonstrate that we will follow through on the things that we committed to do. And if we deliver on our agenda, working with the President, I believe we're going to be really well positioned come, the 2026 elections, and we need to hang on to the House and on to the Senate, because if we don't hang on to the House in 2026, the chief objective of the Democrats obviously going to be to try and impeach him again. And you start seeing, some of these crazy statements about that already out there among Democrats, and it's almost like they are in a competition to see who can make the most extreme, crazy public statement. But that one, for example, is so far over the top, just in terms of, again, another demonstration of how far out of step they are with where the American people are. But they don't have anything else to talk about. And I think that's unfortunate. It's good for us, obviously, but they do not present a viable alternative for the American people right now, because their agenda is so absent anything that resembles common sense and what is clear to most Americans. So that's an advantage to us, but we just got to make sure that how we deliver on our agenda.